You guys, I've got the evidence! If anybody has any idea what I'm talking about, you have to let me know down in the comments because you're the real MVP. But as you can see, I have some new things, so if you guys want to see me test it all out, hear my first impressions, then just keep watching. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is KARENHARRIS. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do post quite often, so highly recommend subscribing, turning on that bell so you're notified every time I post, and without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, I feel like every time I come on here, I'm like, I was stalking my mailbox, but no, I was genuinely so excited because not only did I get my Hourglass palette in today, I also got the Poison Garden palette from Bella Beaute Bar. And let's be real, she's kind of the star of today's show. This palette is launching. I don't know if I'm going to get this video up Thursday night, but if not, it'll be up on Friday. And if you're watching this on Friday the 13th, this palette is launching at 11 a.m. Central Time. That's noon Eastern Time. And I'm so freaking excited. So let's go ahead and look at the swatches and the close-ups, and let me tell you a little bit about this palette. And not only are they launching a palette, they're also launching a fragrance, and it looks absolutely stunning, as well as some single shadows. So I'm gonna put up pictures of everything, but first of all, we have to look at this gorgeous palette. I love the details. I feel like this is so perfect, especially after their Secret Garden palette. Now, I didn't realize they're not the same size. This one's actually a little smaller than the Secret Garden palette, which I don't think any of you will be mad about, because some people just like smaller palettes, and I feel like this way you can get whichever one you want. So this palette contains 8 multi-chromes, 11 mattes, 1 sequin matte, and it retails for $75. Now, as always, I am a Bella Beaute Bar affiliate. I'm so proud to be a Bella Beaute Bar affiliate because you do get to save on your purchase if you use my code KHMAKEUP. Honestly, I'm so proud of all the indie brands I'm affiliated with because they create amazing products. So this one is no exception. I think the quality of this palette is stunning. All the multi-chromes are multi-chroming. The mattes look beautiful. I will say the shade Wisteria, whew, when you see it under a light, it literally looks like it's UV. Like, it's so stunning. As cliche as it sounds, that might be my favorite shade in the palette. So here is a picture of the perfume. This is Poison Cherry. I think this is their first fragrance. I am not familiar with them having a fragrance before this. So this is a warm and spicy gourmand fragrance featuring exotic black cherry liqueur, almond, tonka bean, Turkish rose, and jasmine sambuc. Truly insatiable and perfect for fall. 1.7 ounces or 50 ml. Glass spray bottle, $55. So I think that's so cool, seeing indie brands going into a new category. It's always fun to see, and perfume, I feel like, is probably quite an involved process. So they are starting off with a fall fragrance. The photography is amazing. I will say I'm not a super gourmand girl, so I probably won't pick up the fragrance, but I just want to let you guys know because I know a lot of you love fragrances, so that could be an option for you. And then they're also dropping 10 new hand-pressed chrome eyeshadow singles. So this is the image they have on their Instagram, and it says 2 are re-releases. And we have Pumpkin Holo, Crypt Holo, Ghoulish Holo, Hex Holo, Eerie Holo. These are going to be $17. Then we have multi-chromes that are the Book of Shadows, Evil, Apothecary, and Amulet for $17. And then Magic Potion and Spellcaster are 2 duochrome shades, and each of those retail for $14. So overall, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm super excited to try out this palette. So let's go ahead and put it on my face. I'm honestly trying to figure out if I should just do 2 looks or 1 look. Usually if I have extra time, I'll create 2 looks with a palette. But since this is launching tomorrow, I kind of want to do something so that I can at least give you guys my first impressions and you can see the palette on my eyes. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in a little bit just so you could see what I was doing. But I'm going into the shade called Death Comes. It's a really pretty teal color. And I'm just kind of stamping that on the outer corner. I'm not going to do like the faux wing look I do sometimes. I'm just going to create an easy, colorful eye look. Well, easy in my opinion, but take that with a grain of salt. I know not everybody loves to wear colorful shadows, but I'm so excited. And I love this color story because there's definitely potential for some amazing fall eyeshadow looks. So yeah, I really want to do like eyeshadow palettes for fall, and I'm like, but how can I not talk about all of the new palettes? Like, there's so many good fall palettes. I mean, there's always good fall palettes. I feel like the indie brands do not disappoint, but it also seems a little unfair to make a list like that and talk about all the new palettes. But we'll see, we'll see. We still have a little bit of time for the first day of fall, but I love filming those videos because it's a great way for you guys to go back into your collection, shop your stash and things like that. It's a great way for me to shop my stash, see what's already in there. Okay, so I'm going to take a clean brush and I'm going to use Delphium. And just so you know, this is the shade I put on my outer corner and this is the shade I'm putting on my crease. And funny story, I actually bought Delphiums this summer because they do really well in bright sunshine. And yeah, I got like a pack of 3 at Costco this year, and I thought they were such pretty flowers, and this shade is very accurate. The flowers, Delphium flowers, are this like beautiful blue shade. I didn't realize that was the name of this color until I just read it in the pan, but it's a beautiful flower. So I'm sure all of you gardening enthusiasts that are much more well-versed in florals than I am will probably know what I'm talking about. And I'm actually shocked because half the time I feel like I miss all these references because they're so, what's the word? I don't want to say nuanced, but almost like specific and so tailored to the palette, and I might not be like the most well-versed person out there when it comes to this stuff. Like the Undergrowth palette, there was a shade in there that I wasn't saying correctly, and somebody told me it was some kind of, I think it was a plant, and I was like, wow, you literally, I know this is such a cliche, but you literally learn something new every freaking day. It's wild. Okay, I'm trying really hard not to blend this blue too much because I really want it to be nice and vibrant, but I do want to blend it a little bit on the crease. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm gonna just pop on a little bit more. You guys know what's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna put wisteria on the lid. It just needs to be wisteria. Maybe I'll put something else on the outer half of my eyelid, but I need to see wisteria on my lid. Like, that needs to happen. I'm taking my favorite flat brush, and before I go into wisteria, I'm gonna go in to the shade called Poison Ivy. It's a really pretty multichrome here. That's like a gray, blue, gunmetal type of color. And I'm just gonna take that and put it on the outer corner, and then we'll put wisteria on the inner corner. But that way I won't have a light color on my brush when I'm trying to do the dark shade on the outer half. So I think I'm gonna bring it about halfway onto the lid. That is such a pretty color. It's like a gunmetal blue, blackened kind of shade. And it's called Poison Ivy. Did I say that? I feel like I don't remember saying that. That's cute. So I'm just going to wipe off the brush and I'm going to go into the shade Wisteria. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I literally had to show it to my husband. I was like, look at this color. It's electric. So I'm just popping that on the inner corner and just... Oh, I don't know if I have a color like this. But it's so pretty. It's like got such a like purpley shift to it. It almost looks electric. Okay, it's been so long since I used one of these Kaleidos multichrome eyeliner pencils in my waterline. So let's go ahead and try one out and see. I recently reorganized some of my eyeliners, and I had mentioned, I think in one of my videos, that Angie had said on one of her new makeup releases episodes that, I think it was new makeup releases, right? Or maybe it was testing new makeup. I'm not 100% sure. But she was talking about how it was in the Swedish news that Linda Hallberg, I don't remember if she got fined or what happened, but they basically had to take their crayons, I think they were called their mood crayons, off the market because they contained a ingredient that I guess the Swedish government, or like their version of the FDA, considered poisonous. So I think she said everything that was made before 2020 was supposed to get taken off the shelves. And I am pretty sure everything I had in my collection was before 2020. So I set them aside. I haven't thrown them in the actual trash yet, but I set them aside. I wasn't really using them anyway, so it's not like it's the end of the world, but I kind of like lightly mentioned it in my video, and I didn't mean to like cause concern or drama. So if you hadn't seen it, I'm just updating you guys because I did respond to some comments, but if I missed any, I don't want to like keep you hanging. So that's what I had seen on Angie's channel, and she's Swedish, so obviously like she's keeping up with the Swedish news, but maybe just go back to her channel and see if you can find it. I think she's holding up her mood crayons in her thumbnail, so yeah. Just causing problems on the internet over here, just not clarifying things. But so I'm just taking the same shade I used on the outer corner and dragging it onto the lower lash line. I would love to know how many of you in my audience are plant moms. I had a few plants. I had the basic bitch trio of plants that I feel like were so like the basic plants that everybody had during COVID. So I had a monstera, I had a fiddle leaf, and I had a banana leaf plant, and I got my fiddle leaf first, and I've had that the longest. My banana leaf and my monstera I got rid of when we moved into this house because the pets and also the kids, and they just take up space that I like need more than I need the plants. So I got rid of all of my plants except the fiddle leaf, and then my youngest started digging in my fiddle leaf and just taking the earth out. So I rehomed it to my mom's spot right now, but eventually I'll take it back. I just told her that she's not allowed to kill it, so we'll see what happens. But so far it's alive, it's thriving. But my husband actually bought me that plant when I got my green card, so it's kind of like a symbol of that too. So I'd be really bummed if that one died, but the rest I'm like okay with. I'm happy with my decision. They lived with a friend's friend. She like rehomed them for me. So yeah, I just was curious since we were talking about Poison Garden. This video is going to be so much fun for you guys to watch. Apparently I just want to yap about who knows what these days, but I'm sorry. Just fast forward. I'm just putting Delphium in the lower lash line as well and just kind of blending a little bit. But I'm gonna put a shade called Wolfsbane. It's like a really pretty lighter multi-chrome in the palette on the inner corner, so I'm just picking it up and I'll give it another spray and we'll just plop it on right here. I did buy this mirror. It's been taunting me at Walmart, and I know my friend Heather has it, and I was like, well, I need it too. So yeah, I copied Heather. I did buy the Ninja Turtle palette. I just haven't used it yet on my channel, so if you've been wondering, that's what happened. Oh man, I want to put a little bit of Wolfsbane on top of Wisteria. I just want it to pop just a little bit more. Okay, this look definitely needs some mascara and stuff, so I'll do that in a second. But I wanted to go ahead and test out the new Hourglass palette. So this one just arrived, and I went with the one that was supposed to be best for deep skin tones. And this was the packaging I wanted. Well, actually, I really wanted the Evil Eye, but I kind of talked myself into the Lotus pattern when I was talking about these palettes in a new makeup release video. So yeah, this is the one I ended up picking up. And I'm so savage that I actually forgot about the Tiger palette. This was, what, 2021? 2022 holiday? So I do have the Tiger palette. I totally forgot that I did, but I just wanted to show you that. And then I also bought last year the, which one is it? It's a King Snake. Gosh, I always forget. And let me tell you, I have not gotten into either of these palettes in a hot second, but that's okay because I will use them. But I really need to set my under eyes, so let's see here. We have 6 shades. I know the setting powder, the finishing powder is an existing powder. So the highlighter is Gilded Strobe Light. Then we have a blush called Desert Flush, and then this is the finishing powder. It does look quite dark. It's called Eternal Light. I might have to use my one size powder under my eyes because I don't think I can wear that under my eyes. Then number 4 is a highlighter called Radiant Rose Strobe Light. That looks like it would be a stunning blush on me. And then we have the blush in Red O, which I really wanted to try out. And then the bronzer is called Bronze Heat. So that one looks a tish dark, but that's okay. I can make it work. I'm going to just use my one size powder under my eyes quick because I'm not going to use the powder from this palette under my eyes. We can go ahead and use all the other shades. I did accidentally put on some Hoola bronzer because I kind of like mentally skipped it in my head for a second. So I do have a bit of bronzer on already, but I will go ahead and probably mix these two and create like a custom bronzer shade just to kind of lighten this one up a little bit and deepen this one up a little bit. Okay, this is a clean brush and it's a Morphe brush, but I love this shape for bronzer, so I'm just going back and forth between these two pans. And let's see. That looks pretty cute. I also have a liquid bronzer on. I have my Say bronzer, so trying not to go overboard, but I can't help myself. I'm just kidding. Okay, that is so pretty. It looks very subtle, but I know that it's poppin'. Okay, I think I'm gonna try the shimmery highlighter, the red highlighter or the rosy highlighter as my blush. So let's see. Oh my god, that's so pretty. This on a deeper skin tone, I feel like would be so stunning, but also like with my tan skin tone, like that's so pretty. That's so pretty. It's like perfectly shimmery. And I feel like I should have used the red blush first, but maybe I can just do a little bit of the red. Woo! Oh yeah, that just made it a little bit more pigmented too. Just gonna put a little bit of the red blush on top. Oh my gosh, that is so stunning. I'm sorry, I'm like sitting here admiring myself, but you see that? You see that glow? Okay, I'm gonna take this shade, which is the highlighter. That's more like champagne color, and we're just gonna, yep, it's pigmented. I love it. I think it looks so pretty. Is it worth the price? $90 is a bit steep, but I feel like it's good value because you're getting so many different shades to try out. And I am happy that Hourglass is finally getting into multiple options when it comes to their holiday palette, because it hasn't been that long. So we all still remember that at one point they were only coming out with like one palette which was not helpful. So I'm happy to see that they're taking steps in the right direction. I do have a new lip product to try. This is from, I don't even know how to say the name of this brand. I think it's called Beaute. I think. I will link it down below for you guys, but I've heard nothing but good things about these lip glazes, and they came out with a new shade called Pumpkin Latte. So I thought I would grab it and try it out. So let me go ahead and line my lips really quick and we can apply this and see what I think about it. Okay, so I just used this darker lip liner from e.l.f. They're $2 and amazing. The flavor of this lip glaze is definitely like caramel coffee creamer. I don't hate it. I really like this color. I'm so glad I waited because I've heard so much hype about these lip glazes from this brand, but none of the shades really spoke to me, and so I'm so glad I waited to get a shade that I was probably going to use more than some of the other colors they have. Okay, so I've tried everything I want to try. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this makeup look, and I'll be right back to give you guys some quick first impression thoughts on all the makeup I tested today. Okay friends, so here is the finished look. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Let's go ahead and talk about what else is on my face today really quick. So I have on my LYS foundation. I've been loving this Skin Tint Stick Foundation, Makeup Forever Concealer, and then I went in with my Say Liquid Bronzer and a little bit of this accidentally, but I only used it on the perimeters of my face, and then everything else you pretty much saw me put on while I was filming the video. So before we talk about the palette, let's go ahead and talk about this little lip glaze. I think I said everything I wanted to say about it already. So far, I really like it. I think it's very nice, juicy, glossy, but it's not sticky. Nice and shiny, hydrating, and I love this color. They also have a ton of shades already. So if you're curious about the shade Pumpkin Latte, now you've seen it on my skin tone with a lip liner. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys, but I just picked this up from Ulta. They actually have a ton of sets with different flavors of this product, so I am very keen to try more now. As far as the Hourglass palette goes, I'm so excited to have this. I do feel bad because I really haven't reached for my Tiger palette or my Snake palette in a hot second. Like, I literally just pulled them out for this video and I was like, ooh, I kind of forgot I had the Tiger palette, because I was looking through my drawer and I was like, do I have any more Hourglass holiday palettes? I feel like I decluttered a bunch of them because they are limited edition, but I couldn't get rid of them once they started doing all the different packaging. So this is very satisfying to have, but I also do feel incredibly privileged to be holding these because I know how expensive they are. I definitely worked very hard to be able to purchase these, and I was definitely thinking like, oh my gosh, it's so much money, and especially because I don't work outside of YouTube anymore, so I don't have like my corporate job that I used to have before I had kids, so I don't always have that like backup income. So everything I spend on my channel is money I make on my YouTube channel, like doing this. So every time I buy like a more expensive palette, it feels like I'm like, oh gosh, I'm like budgeting for other things. But I'm excited to have this. I'm definitely gonna play with this more, and hopefully it was helpful to you guys to just see me apply it on my face. I feel like this is definitely gonna work for at least a few darker shades than me. I don't know if it's gonna work on the darkest skin tones, but man, these two highlighters are stunning. So I'm very, very curious to hear from other women of color on what their thoughts are on this darker palette. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye out because I know a few other creators also picked these up, and this was supposed to be the deepest colorway. So curious about that. Definitely am very happy with my purchase. And last but certainly not least is the beautiful Belle Beaute Bar Poison Garden palette. I had to film with this tonight. Like, ain't no way I was gonna miss having a video up for you guys, and I think this is a really cool color story. It's grungy, it's perfect for fall. I'm so happy to see these palettes come out instead of the usual like yellow, orange, and red palettes. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for those too. But it's been so fun because I'm so into jewel tones right now. I never used to be into dark shades. I feel like 2015 Karen would have been terrified of all of the palettes that are coming out in this season or last season, like 2022, 23, 24. I feel like we really saw all these like grungy color stories come out, and cool tones are so big right now. I feel like 2015 Karen would have been terrified. and hated every second of it. And right now I'm like thriving with these jewel tones. Like jewel tones make me happy. Cool tones, the grungy shades, the mucky shades as people call them. So I love it. I love that you can rearrange this palette if you feel like. I think they did a really good job with the layout because I could definitely see like duos here. Like it would be very easy to pair some of these shades together. You can definitely also focus on this in quads. The multi-chromes are so good. They just like glide on. I will say I did take a little bit of wisteria on my finger and tapped it on because I really want it to be more intense on my lid. So I do feel like I was able to make it a little bit more intense with just tapping some on the lid. But overall, this is the same great quality that I'm used to with Bella Beaute Bar. I am just so happy every time they launch a palette because they do such great palettes. And if you're curious and you want to pick up more from them, I highly recommend the recently de-influenced palette. I'll try and remember to put pictures. I actually have them. I don't know why I'm not just holding them up, but that and the new Strange and Unusual, I kind of want to buy that, honestly, because I want to have the new version in my collection because it's so good. The Strange and Unusual was the first one I purchased from them in a long time that made me like fall in love with Bella Beaute Bar. So I'm super duper excited for spooky season. I feel like all of these indie brands are just mic dropping and I'm over here just like drooling. I'm just holding a bucket and just drooling into it because everything is looking so beautiful. So hopefully that was helpful. I feel like I've been extra chatty, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this video. This palette is launching on September 13th at 11 a.m. Central Time. That's noon Eastern Time. I do have a discount code with this brand. It's KHMAKEUP. You can save on your purchase, and thank you so much for using my code. It does help me out. I do make a commission and I'm so appreciative. If you guys would like to go ahead and enter my monthly giveaway, the link is in the description box. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I don't know if I'm going to post anything else this week, but I'll definitely be back on Monday with another new something. We'll just leave it at that. Okay. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and I will see you very, very soon. Bye!